My name is Fatima. I'm a Latina Muslima converted or reverted to Islam. I'm original from Peru, but I've been living in the US for a while. Well, in this video, I want to share how I learned about Islam. I was born and raised in Peru. I lived there until I finished high school, and then my family and we moved to the US. I went to college here. I studied anthropology and with a minor in sociology. So in these classes, usually we focus a lot on culture and also social issues in different countries, different cultures. And when learning about different cultures, you also learn about all the things that make part of culture, and one of them is religion. So we study a little bit of different religions, one of them being Islam. As many of us, the first thing that comes to our mind when we hear the word Islam is what the media have shown us, have feed us, which is not very good things. I was in the same situation. So the first thing that came to my mind was everything negative, everything from 9/11 to all the bad stuff that these people from the Middle East do. That was my first reaction, my first thought. In one of my sociology classes, I believe it was called Women Around the World or Women in a Global Context. And specifically, one of the topics was women in Afghanistan. So automatically, my mind was, poor women. These women have no freedom. These women are oppressed by their religion. And as the teacher started talking and developing the topic, we learned that, yes, this woman, because we're talking about the woman oppressed under the power of the Taliban, which is not Islam, which does not represent Islam, but that's the information that many people who are not on that side of the world doesn't know. We don't know. So we just believe everything the media says, or at least most of it. And it is true, women under the Taliban are oppressed, but like I say, they do not represent Islam. And as the teacher was saying this, I was confused because that was actually contradicting what I have learned. And so I decided to start doing some research on my own, trying to see if the teacher was wrong. Gladly, Alhamdulillah, she was not wrong. I was, just like many of us are, due to ignorance, due to stereotypes, due to the bad information on the media. And like I say, I try to research more information on my own. When we were done with that class, I tried to take more classes that were focusing on this topic. Also, I tried to be friends with people from the Middle East. Since in the college I went, there were a lot of people from Saudi Arabia, from Libya, and from other parts of the Middle East. They were very kind and very open to answer all these questions. After some time, I live in Oregon, so I went to school here in Oregon. After I finished school, I moved back to California, where I went to visit my family in California. And when I was there, I wanted to continue learning about Islam. I remember it was summer. So one of my mom's neighbors, she was Muslim, so I talked to her. And she invited me to go to the mosque. I told her that I want to keep learning about Islam. So she invited me to go to the mosque. And when I went there, the lady who was there told me that it was Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, it was Ramadan time. So she told me, if you want to come back in the night, we are going to break our fast, and you're welcome to break the fast with us. So I was like very curious. I knew about the pillars of Islam because I read, because my friends explained it to me, but I never lived that process, and I never been to a mosque. So I was very excited, very nervous. A lot of ideas came to my mind, crazy ideas. For example, thinking that what if they take me hostage? What if they don't let me go out of the mosque? But alhamdulillah, it was just my ideas in my mind. So they were very kind. I heard something, the first time I went there, I heard something, it was like words with rhythm. It wasn't like music, but it has some rhythm. I did not understand the word, nothing. It was in Arabic, but I felt it in my heart. It felt good. It felt relaxing, and also something like, I don't know how I can explain it. It wasn't sadness, but I make my heart feeling something like a feeling of humbleness. I couldn't explain it, but I guess it was something magical that happened. So it was the adhan. Now I know it was the adhan. So since it was the first time I was there, of course, they did not expect me to pray, but I want to follow everything they were doing. So I went with them, and they let me pray with them. They just told me, like, my friend told me, just copy whatever we're doing. You are not forced to do anything. So yeah, so we did that, and after that we broke our fast. It was iftar, and alhamdulillah, I had a great experience with them. They were very welcoming, very kind people. And all my ideas that I had about women being oppressed, men being rude and oppressive, it was wrong. It was all wrong. I saw the woman chatting, talking, laughing, smiling, having a good time. And the kids, maybe the kids didn't come. Yes, they did, but they were on the other side playing. The men were babysitting the children. The women were free to talk, to joke, to do whatever they do. The men were in charge of the children. An idea that I was not used to. So that was another positive thing during my experience visiting the mosque for the first time. As the days gone by, I learned that there were the last days. Those were the last days of Ramadan. I think I went there like 3 more times. And then one of them, I became like very close with her. And I asked her if tomorrow, the next day, we were supposed to go to the same time. She told me no. She told me tonight is the last day of Ramadan. So tomorrow is Eid al-Fatur. So you are welcome to come to the prayer. It's very early, but you are welcome to come. All these days that I went, plus what I was reading and researching, doing the research on my own, talking to friends, made me realize that it complements perfectly with the beliefs I had. I was born and raised in a Christian family. I was raised in a very traditional and religious family, and alhamdulillah for that, because it led me to understand that we were supposed to worship only Allah, only God, only the one God that created everything, not any of the prophets. That's one thing that I never understood, or I never completely understood, because even Jesus, I know in Christianity, Jesus is seen as God or the Son of God. I never found in the Bible that Jesus called himself God. He never called himself God. He prayed to God. He told people to believe in his word, which was the message of God, the message of Allah. But he never said that it was his message, it was his word. And I don't know where the confusion came with people that makes everything. But alhamdulillah, it led me, all this thinking and the way I was raised led me to Islam. Alhamdulillah for that. So with all this in mind, and all these days that I have been spending time in the mosque with my friends, made me realize that I didn't need more time. I went for Eid. I went the next day for Eid. And after the prayer, I told my friend, I think I'm ready. And she told me, for what? She thought we were going shopping or something. And I say, I want to be a Muslim. I really enjoy being here. I told her it makes perfect sense, everything. Praying to only one God, the same way Jesus was praying to God, the same way Moses was praying to God. So it just made perfect sense to me. So she told me, so you want to take your Shahada? Then I remembered that was, oh yeah, that was one of the pillars of Islam. When you convert to Islam, when you accept there's only one God, and the Prophet Muhammad is the last messenger and is the prophet of Allah. So I said, yes, I do. So my friend talked to the Sheikh and they made me repeat the words of the Shahada, and I took my Shahada that day. I was very happy. I was very excited, very nervous, a lot of emotions. I was crying. A lot of people were crying because it was Eid. Everyone was happy. And then I took my Shahada that day. Alhamdulillah. It's been almost 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. Yes, alhamdulillah, 6 years. And it was the best decision I have ever taken. And I don't regret it at all. That's all for this video. Inshallah, you have a great day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.